pay. You led him to me. This is your fault.
No, Luke, you trained me. We can take him together. I'm a Jedi now.
What? Jar Jar, you're not a...
Hey guys, Blizzard here, and welcome back to another video. Today I have a similar tutorial to my last tutorial. Today I have the lightsaber effect that I did in my Star Wars Last Jedi stop motion. I'm basically going to be showing you guys how to do that. So let's just get straight into it. It's basically the same interface as the other app we used for the gunshots and lasers. When you open it, you'll be greeted with this screen. The app is called Saber Movie Effects. You can also download it from the App Store and the Android Store, I believe. Links will be in the description. Download the app and you'll be greeted with this screen, the same screen that you're greeted with in the Gun Movie Effects app. Now, of course, you're going to want to tap New Project. Then you'll be brought to this screen. You can name the project. I'm just going to call mine again Test. Just the easy name to call it. And we want to click Import. Now, you have to make sure that your video, your animation with no effects in it, is in your camera roll. So if you use Stop Motion Studio Pro or just Stop Motion Studio like a lot of you guys do, this is basically how you can export that to your camera roll, as you can see here. Then once you've done that, you're just going to want to tap on the video that you've exported. Mine's over here. And then we can start doing our effect. So basically, I'm just going to be showing you guys how to do lightsaber on, how to keep the lightsaber going, and then how to turn it off. Now, some people find a little bit confusing with this app is how the lightsaber is very thin. So some people just don't use it because they don't know how to make it thicker. That's something I didn't mention in my last tutorial, or maybe I did, I'm not sure. If you screw up an effect, it comes up on the left side. You just tap the three dots and hit delete effect. You can also change the color and do a few other options with that effect. What you can do to make it thicker is some people don't realize that when you're in this interface, if you look at the timeline down the bottom, look at the right, and then look above, in the right corner, look above, and you see this little lightsaber with an arrow coming out. And if you tap that, it brings up this little dial down the bottom, and you can actually shrink the effect. Now, this is used for turning the lightsaber on and off, but you can also use this to make the lightsaber a bit thicker. If you make it smaller and then enlarge it like that. Okay, so that is how you basically make it thicker without having it super long. Anyway, we're just going to go through this footage here using our timeline down the bottom of our page. We'll scroll through here. That's a laser effect. If you want to see where this footage is from, the full video, you can click the link in the description at the end of the video, or the iCard that just popped up right now. You can see where all this footage is from. This here, that's basically a laser bolt hitting the wall. So we're not going to animate that part of the effect. If you want to know how to get an effect like that, you can click the video in the iCard that popped up just then, and that'll show you the laser and gunshot effect tutorial similar to this tutorial, but you're still going to need to check that out. It's a different app, different software. Anyway, so he's shot his laser, and now we need to get the lightsaber to turn on. So I have a little bit of monologue talking here. Then the lightsaber turns on. Now, I know a lot of you will have your footage already animated, but something helpful to have is when you turn on the lightsaber, just make it go like 2 frames up and 2 frames down, just like that, just so you can tell how the lightsaber is going to be turned on, when it's going to be turned on. That way it can just be easier for everyone. Now, to start off with, we're going to need to find the first frame the lightsaber is turned on. So using the two arrow keys in the left and right bottom corners, we're going to go through the frames individually in the timeline until we get to the right frame. And then that's the frame we want our effect in. So we're going to line up our effect just like that. I think that looks pretty good. You can choose which color you want by using this little area in the top middle. And this is also a good place where you can get other effects. Plus you have the blurs for all those different types. The highlights, which are helpful. We're not going to be using those in this tutorial, but they can be helpful. You can make custom effects, which is basically just adjusting the color of the lightsaber in case you want a yellow or a black. And that's really all that there is to this app. So in the animation that I've done, it is a green lightsaber, so I'm just going to leave it at green. We're going to tap that icon, lightsaber, and the arrow down the bottom again. We're just going to shrink that as much as we can. Now, as you can see, seeing as the lightsaber is thick, that is not very small, and we need to wind in and wind out the effect, just like every normal stop motion animation. So a way that we can help do this is if we turn the lightsaber on its side, like this, and then put the lightsaber sideways into the hilt. Leave a little bit of room because it slightly extends when you press the add button, just like that. Press the add key on the right side, and now you can see the top of the lightsaber hilt has a little bit of a green glow in it. Now we can move on to the next frame, and for this frame we're gonna add a bit more of a green glow to it, make it a bit thicker, just like that. And now it has a little bit more of a green glow to it. And now that we've done those two frames, the next frame we do, we'll bring the lightsaber back to the normal upright size, just like that. And then we can adjust it accordingly to be inside the hilt. Just play around with it until it looks good. And then once that's happened, you can adjust it, and then when you've got a nice sort of ratio, kind of get all the white coming out of the hilt and the green around the hilt, then you can just press the plus symbol on the right again, and you can see you sort of are starting to have an animation. Now, next frame, we're going to want to add it in, line it up again, just so it looks good about there, I would reckon. And we want to extend it up a little bit, just how like the lightsaber is turning on. So we'll just keep doing that. Alright, so the lightsaber is now fully ignited, but once it's ignited, you can't stop adding in the effect. You do have to keep going until the next shot. So now we're just going to keep moving to the next frame and tapping the plus button just to show that it's still lit up. And just keep doing that until the shot changes. Now he's moved it again, so we're just going to follow the hilt, follow the lightsaber hilt, make sure it always looks like it's actually coming out. Then you're just going to keep doing that until the next shot. Alright, so the lightsaber has gone out of frame. We can shrink that effect back into the middle, and if we just put that to the side and have a look at what we've animated, so that looks reasonably good. I feel that's a reasonably good lightsaber effect just for a common stop motion. He then is seen running across the screen, and the lightsaber is still ignited at this point. So we're going to have to find the first frame where the lightsaber is on the screen, which is right there. Now we might go to the frame before that and just put the lightsaber just out of frame, just there. just so it gives a little bit of green glow before the lightsaber is actually on the screen. That's kind of more of the winding in, winding out that you would do with a normal stop motion. Now we're going to just align the lightsaber to the hilt, and we're going to make it a little bit longer just to make it realistic. And that looks pretty good. So now we're just going to do the exact same thing, pressing the plus button, using the arrow keys to go to the next frame, and then realigning the lightsaber effect to the hilt until the lightsaber is out of the shot again. Alright, so we've added in that lightsaber effect across all the frames there. Now I know it's a very repetitive process, guys, but you have to bear with me. It's the only way you can do it using this app. Now, I just wanted to state that this app is not free. You do have to pay some money. I know it's different in different countries with different currencies and all those variables. In my country, Australia, it is $4.99, which is reasonably priced if you want to get some good lightsaber effects. Now, we have the next scene where Jar Jar Binks is just swinging the lightsaber around. And then that's basically the end of the footage. Again, if you want to see what happens next, you can go see the video that this is from Lego Star Wars The Last Jedi, starring Jar Jar Binks. Go check it out. Now, this is another time where you have to just try and line it up as best you can. You're going to need to make this clearly a lot thicker. Alright, that looks like right thickness, but it is pointing towards the screen, so we're going to need to make it reasonably small and line that up right, just like that. Perfect, okay. So now it looks like it's sort of facing towards the screen a little bit more, and we're just basically gonna do the exact same process. It is a lot of repetition. As you can see, we've done a lot of different frames with the effect on. But we're basically going to do the exact same thing again. Press the plus button, press the arrow key in the bottom right corner, and then move the effect and repeat the process. Now here is a good opportunity to use one of the blur effects. If you want to use the blur effect, just tap the 3 dots in the group of boxes in the top. Tap blurs. You can see here you'll be on sabers, just tap blurs. Choose the color and amount of blur you want, so I'm going to choose the smallest amount and the green, just there. Then click the X and you have your blur here. So we just adjust this, make it so it looks like it's right there. And then it sort of gives it a blurred effect. He's swinging it backwards, we'll give that a blur. Swinging it backwards a little bit more, then a little bit more. So in this frame we can give him the second amount of blur, and it is like a normal stop motion. So on the frame after this we need to give him again the first amount of blur, winding it in and winding out. It's kind of funny seeing the first amount of blur. Anyway, winding in and winding out, so we add in the least amount. Then once we're done with that, we just go back to the normal beam and add that in. That kind of gives it a little bit of a swing effect, just to make it look a bit more official. Again, it doesn't really matter too much. Sometimes if you add in too much of the lightsaber blur, it can ruin the effect if you add it in for a frame that doesn't even have that much movement, which I might have done here, I'm not too sure. But even if you don't use the blurs at all for the lightsaber, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, as long as you just keep getting it right, keyframing it right, adding it in correctly to the photo. Alright, so after a long amount of repetition, we finally have completed the effects for this clip here. Now, once you've done what I have and finished all your effects, you're just going to click the tick in the top right, that will buffer your movie. Then once you've done that, you'll be brought to this screen. Now this is the important screen where you can watch through what you have just animated. And of course, with this, you can click the X to go back and reanimate it if you see there's some problems or parts you don't like about it. But the most important button is the one in the bottom right. You just tap that and that will save it to your camera roll. That way you can then put it into the iPad iMovie, or you can plug it into your laptop, transfer it to your laptop, put it on laptop iMovie, laptop Final Cut Pro, Sony Vegas, whatever you use to edit. And then you can add in all your sound effects, voice acting, and music, and all that good stuff. Then once you've done that, you can just hit the X, tap the 3 lines in the top left. That will bring you back to the opening 4 boxes. So thank you guys for watching this tutorial. I tried to make this one a bit more short just so you guys can actually go along with me and make your effect. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the stuff you do. And this is Brizzard signing out.